So we were talking about a popular collaborator of Balenciaga's who at a very inopportune similar time was getting into their own hot water. And that is the artist formerly known as Kanye West. So there have been some developments on the Yay front. Yay
Quite
for
on the
Yay.
So the artist formerly known as Kanye West at one point was the most influential and popular artist in the world.
Mhm.
And then when the world needed him the most, he decided to become a Nazi.
How
And
does Ted tell him about his mom? How does mom pass? Make sure they get all the context.
okay, let's start. Let's start from the
No,
beginning.
we're good. We're good.
So what's this news report? What are we hearing?
So this actually ties into a couple things. There's I'd say two big things that have happened, and I think they go hand in hand. So first, Kanye is getting back on the fashion scene. It was spotted that he'd filed a trademark for a new shoe seen wearing here. They're something, man. They're something new. I'll say that much.
I
I
like
haven't
them.
seen them
Hold on.
before.
I'm just responding to Christian in the comments.
Okay.
Uh Mutual. Okay. Honestly, you know me. Maybe you
Mhm.
don't. I I at least was maybe on the money when I said that thin soles are about to be in, baby. And
You said it.
the other condition that I suffer from is
Mhm.
it's a severe condition. There's nothing I can do about it. And there's an intellectual part of my brain that knows I shouldn't think this, but I love all of Yeezy season. I don't
Yeah,
know. I
I
see it and I'm
know.
like, I like it. I like that. Um, Especially like their recent footwear. I like this.
I'm with you. I'm with you. And kind of going along that line, so he is starting to work on new silhouettes here. And similarly, he actually reached an agreement with Adidas to sell the remaining Yeezy stock. So I don't know if you remember, but there was this whole thing where Adidas cut ties with Kanye West, and then it came out that they had like billions of dollars of Yeezys just in warehouses that they were like, we can't sell them. What do we do? Um, they talked about destroying them, but the CEO was like, we had environmental people coming to us being like, definitely don't do that. They didn't want, I guess it was too economically absurd to debrand them, make them not Yeezy
Yeah.
anymore, which is one thing they were talking about. So what finally now happened is they somehow came to an agreement with Kanye. They're going to sell the Yeezys again as they are. Kanye is going to get his cut, which is iffy. That's tough paying Kanye. But I guess they're also going to be donating some amount of money from the sales of those to like Jewish groups and stuff like that. So, you win some, you lose
Yeah.
some, right?
You win some, lose some. To their credit, listen, brands do it all the time. Like Burberry is known for the situation where they say our old any stock they didn't sell, you burn that. We
Yeah.
don't sell it on clearance. Brands
Yeah.
will have and will do this in order to maintain the exclusivity and the image and the whole vision of their brand. They'd
Yeah.
rather it be destroyed than sold at a low price.
It was
Um,
like, it's so tough because it does, I think, legitimately kill brands and their like
yeah,
mystique. Because when you see like a Moschino at Nordstrom Rack for like
mm,
95% off retail,
you're like,
uh, no
huh,
one's ever going to pay a retail for Moschino after that when their entire
yeah.
last season is at Saks off fifth, you know?
Yes, and that is like I mean we experience it as two brains just floating through the world. I'm sure economists and the number crunchers say this is what happens, but full transparency, I'm glad that Adidas didn't decide to like torch all
Yes.
of it
Yeah.
because for God's sakes, they're shoes. People don't have shoes on this earth. We have all this material wealth, yet we decide in New York City that we should erect gigantic skyscrapers
Uh-huh.
that nobody lives in, despite the fact that there are homeless people. So maybe don't just destroy all the shoes. Maybe try to get them on people's feet.
I agree.
Um,
I think it's generally a good thing. Like, I think there's some I don't love it, but I think it's the best thing that could have happened out of all the bad options. Because here's the thing, here's why I'm still iffy on it though, is that we were just talking about Balenciaga. We kind of landed on they're they should be out of the doghouse at this point.
Yeah.
Yay, on the other hand,
No way. He didn't.
he
He's not atoned.
he is not atoned, and he also in a Balenciaga, the fuck up was brand level. Yay,
Yeah.
the fuck up is yay level. That is
It's
all him. They were his words out of his mouth.
he had the chance.
Dude.
He was given multiple chances to rectify. I mean, if Alex Jones is trying to backpedal
Talk you
on
down,
something
yeah.
you just said, that's how you know what you're saying is crazy.
Yeah.
My earphones, they just started playing music.
You looked like you were getting like a message like, "Oh, I'm getting an update. Kanye West just said this."
I'm getting an update. This is live. Thanks, Wolf. Yes, the artist formerly known as Kanye West just told me that despite my name, Christian, I am a Jew, and he believes that I should be eradicated.
That's a tough spot to be in.
That's a tough spot. Something I want to mention for anybody who's just listening: the post that we were referring to in the broader scope was it was a picture of Kanye West, the artist formerly known as Kanye West, in his kind of signature as of late monochromatic Yeezy look, but his footwear, it looks like a like skin tight sock in like a neoprene kind of nylon thing, super low profile. And I just want to say that I knew this was going to be hot, and here we are.
Boom
Baby.
It looks like they, to give a little bit more specificity on what they look like, they almost look like nautical to me, like not like nautical like of the sea, but like in the sea. Like they look like little baby sharks or something, you know?
It's like he's wearing two baby sharks.
Yes.
Something that it for all you fashion heads out there, the Margiela has had a pair of tabbies for a long time for men that have a very similar silhouette. And by that, I mean the male tabby where there is no heel. So it looks it looks like identical to this. It's like a tall leather sock, essentially. I'm burping a lot. Sorry, guys. I'm being told that is not good for podcasts. Yeah, the Archie blows. That's not necessarily the exact ones I'm talking about, but that's the idea. Is that Margiela has been making these, and it's a very similar kind of flavor, where it looks like you're almost kind of like walking around in your socks.
Right.
And you know, if anybody's like, why is that cool? Why does anyone care? Also, I will point out that also like traditional Japanese tabby boots look like that. They look just like it's like kind of like a cloth, a cotton sock.
I will say, interestingly, hold on, Phil, for 1 second.
Okay. And the thing is that my partner Caroline has a pair of traditional tabby boots from Japan.
So, that's actually sick. I love that. One of my most worn pair of shoes is this.
Ooh.
These are ILYSM. I love you so much. Hobbies.
Oh, I know that.
They just shut down like a few months ago. I believe from a former Yeezy designer, they started this brand and released these. So I don't know, maybe a lawsuit in Ye's future because they shockingly similar.
As an aside, I think that also the designers that come from Yeezy season are great. I like the work that they've done.
Yeah.
And in fact, stay tuned because if I succeed, I will be releasing my video this Sunday. And let's just say maybe there is a Yeezy designer in there. Former Yeezy designer.
That's exciting. I like that. I'm excited about it. I didn't know anything about this. I haven't gotten any previews.
No, I don't tell him anything.
No.
Kilian
he keeps me on the outside.
Yeah, I don't want him spoiling anything. But as an aside also, even though I feel like I I am probably most people. I don't really pay attention to all the Yeezy seasons, especially as
Yeah.
Kanye has become
Right.
more and more problematic. When I do see the footwear, I'm liking it. Like I'm like you
Yeah.
know, at the end of the day, I think you're just hiring young, really creative people who
Like
are coming up
hungry
with
people.
the
Yeah.
idea. Young, hungry people, and whatever instinct is driving this system, it is allowing what I think are actually very cool, trendy
Mhm.
designs to shine through.
Yeah.
Um, but I say this all with a grain of salt because I'm sure if I was next to like the real pretentious types, like the
Yeah.
types, for an example, any job that I've worked where they fired me very quickly because they're all like they think they're
Right.
so
Right.
cool. They think they're so cool because they are also like a club promoter on the weekends. Like, ooh, that's so cool. You do cocaine for a living.
Right.
You know, um, I think that there are pretentious people who will tell you that Yeezy season is bad because it's derivative, because it's not
Right.
bold, because it's not daring, because it's like X, Y, and Z. It's like all these other brands, and I understand why there's reason to be like think that it's not as interesting because it isn't as novel, but
Yeah.
there's a part of that it's probably a part of the fact that it's not novel that my brain eats it up like candies.
And it's like accessible at the same time. It's like the way he's able to do those like organic extraterrestrial kind of looks, but also make them hyper wearable has always been appealing to me. Like I can't lie.
Can I
You know?
ask you something?
Yeah.
And I already know my answer. Do
Okay.
you think that Ye has any potential as a musician, as a designer, as a public figure
Mhm.
to return to the limelight?
Oh my god. I think I think there's a dual answer. I think it is inevitable that he will to some degree.
You
Uh
think that it's inevitable that he will be in good graces with people, with a majority of people?
well, that's the difference. I
Okay.
see him heading in like a Chris Brown kind of direction where there are the apologists and
Yeah.
hangers on. Like, you know, Usher will still go to his birthday party. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's also in many circles never going to be okay. Rightfully so, you know? How about you?
I think that like other than the fact that Chris Brown beat the shit out of Rihanna, Bad Girl Riri, I think it's
Mhm.
the fact that he got a tattoo of it. That's the
Yeah.
the real like dirtbag thing.
Yeah.
Like, what's wrong with you?
What should I search to bring this up? What's the best way to get to this immediately?
I guess Chris Brown Rihanna tattoo. It should bring it up immediately,
Bruh.
right?
Bruh.
Did you get it? You're not sharing your
Oh,
screen.
no. Okay, here we go, people.
It's like, what's wrong with you?
That's fucked.
That's like weird. You're sick. You're a sick freak.
That's truly sick. Yeah. Yeah.
You guys remember that song that was popular when we were all younger? That Chris Brown song that's like it's got like a sound like it sounds like billiards hitting together. It's the one where it's like double your pleasure, double your fun.
I'll give
It
you a
has a
real
billiard
throwback.
sound.
Do you remember when he was the nerdy love interest on the OC?
Thank God I don't.
Oh, I do.
Thank God I
Thank
don't.
God I do. No, not thank God.
I to wrap it back to
Yeah.
my question. Do I think Ye will ever be accepted again? And maybe I should have phrased it as a true artist.
Right, right.
And I say, regrettably, I don't think so.
Okay.
And the thing is, and the reason that I made that Ye video in the first place, and the reason I
Mhm.
talk about him still is for a long time, he definitely felt like a singular artist who was unimpeachable, so to speak, whose creative vision would
Mhm.
always be like so blindingly brilliant. It wouldn't matter what else his like mental illness
Yeah.
created. But we got Jesus is King,
Right.
and even if I liked some of it, well, I mean, frankly, we got
A lot of stuff.
the what is it, the Bipolar album, which was the
Yeah.
first
The
crack.
everyone. Yeah.
And I like more of the songs now in retrospect,
Yeah.
but then it was Jesus is King,
Yep.
and then it was Donda, which
Wasn't there one more? There was Jesus is King, but then there was one other more like hip hop one. There was a lot, honestly.
well, I mean, main Kanye's, main
Yeah.
releases. Those it was like bam, bam, bam from an
Right.
artist who had up to that point been known for his incredible capacity to release album after album that was phenomenal.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, my fear is, while Kanye has risen from the ashes once before, and while if anybody could make my dark, beautiful, twisted fantasy 2,
Mhm.
The Return of the King, it would be
Mhm.
him. I think it's not going to happen. I think there is a parallel universe where it does happen, but
Let me throw the hypothetical at you. This parallel
okay.
universe hypothetical. Could he ever do like a Galliano? Like really pull himself together, get fully medicated, have a few years of being a great productive citizen and be like, "Look, I was in a bad place back then, guys. I recant every single thing I said. I love everybody and I've shown it by doing X, Y, and Z for 4 years now."
Yeah.
What then?
Well, personally, and my name is Christian. I was raised
Mhm.
as a Catholic.
Mhm.
I do the only, the basically singular thing that I take from years of church is that everybody deserves the opportunity to be forgiven if they truly reach for it, if they truly
Yeah.
desire it. I think that I genuinely do, and I think
That's the
that
part that's hard to see happening though, like in reality.
I know in reality that people are stupid and assholes,
Yeah.
but I think that as a society, as a human being, if you cannot allow yourself to forgive people even when they do heinous things, there's a lot of more morality issues.
Mhm.
You have problems with your morality system that you might not realize. So even
So
though Kanye said things that are unexcusable, like
mhm.
completely devil stuff, if he like genuinely said, "Listen, guys, I know that I've done a lot of crazy stuff, and maybe I've even hid behind my own mental issues, and maybe but I'm coming out and saying that I genuinely reflected and I was goofed up, and this isn't going to be a situation where I." Then, like in a song, I say, I apologize, but I was actually lying. That's
Yeah.
like that's a bar. If Kanye like sincerely apologized, and then the following day, My Dark Beautiful Twisted Fantasy 2 is released, secret release.
Right.
It's incredible. It blows the lid off of everything. People
Uh-huh.
are like, their minds are like, oh my god. Then we'd be
Anything's
living.
possible, right?
Anything's possible. I would put that at a 1% chance.
It's low down there for
I
sure.
think what is going to happen is he's going to go through a cycle of, oh, I'm medicated again, and now I'm pissed
Yeah.
off that I was medicated again, and he's going to release another half-baked album that feels
Mhm.
like it's a million years away from the artist he used to be,
Yes.
and he's going to have some kind of political thing that is leading up to, you'll know his mental breakdown is coming when he's getting political again, and then
Right.
he'll go silent.
Yes.
Unfortunately, that's what's going to happen. I'll put money on it.
I think I'd be with you on that bet. Do you want to save the pod next time and just chat with people for a couple if they're
Sure.
down?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's 9:04, guys.
It's 9:04, my friends. What do you want to talk about?
What's that? Do we have questions?
We sure do.
We got
You
out.
can't
We got
trust Ye to stick to anything. People I know who worked for him say that he will be totally convinced to do something and have this whole vision for a thing, then it never materializes. That's the most believable thing I've ever heard.
I mean, that is called ADHD.
He released that he tweeted that one time where it's like one of his rants, and he's like, I can't collaborate with anyone who won't get out of bed to work for me at 3 a.m. And I'm like, that sounds like a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, are you crazy? But I mean, the reality is that not only all those traits kind of like part and parcel with a lot of people who are creative slash mentally unstable.
For sure.
I think that he has kind of rid that to the extreme where he's kind of conditioned his brain where it's like, not only do I kind of have those impulses in my body, like a lot of other creatives, because frankly, a lot of people who are successful for their endeavors, whether it's like business or creative, they kind of follow, that's how they behave. They have like big ADHD brain. They've got a lot of people around them and they're like, gun ho, let's do this. And as soon as it's boring for them, they drop it. Like that is common. I've had bosses who are like that.
Right.
But I agree. I can totally see Kanye being like, like
guaranteed.
if you worked for him, you're like, you would want to be like
nightmare shit. 100%.
Nightmare.
The footage. Did you watch the Genius documentary series?
Oh, I only watched a little of it, but it was good when I was watching it because it was.
So
like,
the beginning is like just a great classic, you know, documentary about a person's come up.
I miss the old Kanye.
Yeah, the last part where it's following him like on the, you know, presidential campaign era.
Oh boy,
dude,
it
looks
like
nightmarish. There's a part where he's having like a mental breakdown on people, like on his staff and things, while Justin Bieber is just awkwardly sitting there, like working on his verse that he was there to do like a feature for. And it's like hilarious and also fucked at the same time.
And like sad and tragic.
Yeah.
I mean, because like probably everybody who's working there, they're like, this is the one artist who has inspired so much of me. This is like, you know, I mean, I think a lot of people elevated him to a place of like incredible heights because he had showed, you know, extraordinary talent. And to actually work with him and find out that he's extraordinarily like does not work in society must be really devastating.
I feel like it's one of those things that like the thing that made him so electric from afar, like as a star, has to be absolutely life ruining to be personally involved with.
Yeah. But at least those people are getting paid. You know?
He has been sued many times for not paying his bills.
Paid.
So yeah,
he must have learned that from his best friend Donald Trump.
Right.
Doesn't pay people.
What is this one? I guess LVMH keep hiring his employees because it shows that they are easily bullied.
I believe it.
I mean, fair.
Yeah,
I think it's one of those things where, like, you know how in Silicon Valley there are those like startup accelerators and like boot camps for like, you know, startups and shit. I feel like it's one of those things. Like these big companies, they see like, you know, if you made it through the Kanye West ringer, you're legit. You can get it done anywhere, you know?
Yeah.